Good morning. Happy Friday, October 4th. I'm Kimberly Perot, and welcome to Good Morning Vail. Now, before we kick our show off, I have to give a happy birthday shout out to our fearless leader, Danielle Turner. She has done an excellent job in leading this wonderful station at TV8, but we've got a lot of exciting things happening in store for the show. We'll have Eagle Valley Library District plus weight loss for frontline workers. What does that entail? Well, we'll show you all of that and much more right after this. Let's take a look at the weather.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Well, happy Friday, and I know that you want to know what is going to happen with the weather today and beyond throughout the weekend. It is starting out to be a gorgeous morning. As you can see, we've got about 42 degrees this morning at 8 a.m. with a high of 75 degrees. Winds will be coming from the west by southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. So starting to pick up a little bit this morning. Definitely saw more leaves blowing than normal as I was getting ready to come into the studio this morning. We'll take a look at the hourly temperatures. It's 42 degrees this morning. Then we're going to make our way to the noon hour for 68 degrees, lower to the 4 p.m. at 73, and then at 8 o'clock it's looking at about 61 degrees, and the clouds will begin to start rolling in the later evening. Now taking a look at that I-70 corridor, we've got Eagle. Sunshine all day long, 82 degrees in Eagle. Avon, 78 degrees for the high, and then Vail gets a little bit cooler for 75. And then it shoots right back up to 85 degrees in Denver. So we are bookending the I-70 corridor between Eagle and Denver with those 80-degree temps. Definitely gorgeous pre-fall weather, as I like to say. Now moving into tonight, a low of 45 degrees, partially cloudy. The sunset will begin at 6:44 p.m. So it's getting earlier and earlier by the minute as we move closer and closer towards ski season. Winds will be coming from the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, here's what we want to know. The 5-day forecast. Gorgeous weather today, Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday, just about the same. We've got sunshine all day long on both days for the weekend. A high of 71 on Saturday, low of 42. So we're going to see the bigger temperature swing on Sunday. 72 degrees for the high and the low of 40 degrees. So we are getting close to those 30 temps. Not quite ready for it, but it's happening. Monday, mostly sunny. Partial cloud coverage, a high of 69 and a low of 40. Tuesday and Wednesday, we're looking at more cloud coverage throughout the week. 69 for the high both days and 41 for the low on both days. Now, I mentioned at the top of our show that we have a conversation around weight loss for frontline workers. Let's take a look and see what that means.
Over 100 million Americans struggle with weight related challenges, and while new GLP 1 medications have become a popular solution, barriers like high costs and shortages have prevented many from accessing the help they need, so including our frontline heroes. Joining us now to discuss from Hims and Hers is Mahir Gandhi and Dr. Jessica Yu. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So, Mahir, as the obesity crisis in America grows, why is it so important to make weight loss solutions affordable and accessible to everyone?
That's a great question. And in that question, I think there's three words that are really important: crisis, accessible, and affordable. As you mentioned, we are in a crisis. Over 100 million Americans suffer from weight management and obesity related health issues. And access to medication and potentially life saving treatments is not readily available. And even when you can, sometimes it's not affordable. We at Hims and Hers, we've always been committed to helping people get access to high quality, personalized care that is safe and affordable, especially in conditions that are traditionally underserved by our healthcare system. Things like sexual health, hair loss, mental health, and now weight loss. We've all heard about GLP-1s. They're helping people lose weight and have many other benefits: cardiovascular benefits, metabolic benefits. But again, access and price to GLPs are the biggest barrier for Americans. In the traditional healthcare system, access to GLP 1s costs over $1,000 per month per patient out of pocket. That is a lot of money. With our Service Appreciation Initiative, we're offering the exact same GLP weight loss treatments to military, veterans, teachers, first responders, and nurses starting at $99 per month. It's because we believe in our mission that giving access to potentially life changing medications at an affordable cost is a responsibility of everyone who works in healthcare, especially when we can deliver that to frontline heroes.
And Dr. Yu, can you discuss the connection between weight management and mental health?
Of course, the two are linked in a couple of different ways. First, we know that people with obesity tend to have higher rates of anxiety and depression. We know that the weight loss journey can be an incredibly stressful and emotional one. And we know that losing weight has mental health benefits. It increases mood, it increases self confidence, as well as those physical health benefits. And this initiative is particularly special to me. I started my career in the Veterans Affairs Hospital working in the weight loss clinic. My mother in law is a former school teacher. My brother in law is a former Marine. My family is full of healthcare workers. And I've seen a lot of them struggle with their weight over time. And I've also seen a lot of them benefit from personalized, holistic weight loss programs that focus on all of the aspects of weight loss: the physical health aspect, the behavioral aspect, the mental health aspect, that provide 24/7 wraparound support. And that's why I'm so proud of what we're doing at Hims and Hers. We're offering that personalized and comprehensive solution that really helps people live their best lives.
And Mahir, as a Hims and Hers weight loss customer, do you have any tips for someone that is looking to get started?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been a customer of the Hims and Hers weight loss program for about 3.5 months now. I've lost nearly 25 pounds on the program. And I'll tell you, I've tried a lot of other things previously: keto, Atkins, intermittent fasting, paleo. You mean, you name it, I've tried it. And with each of those programs, there has been some short term benefit, but it always comes back. And frankly, as Dr. Yu mentioned, it was pretty stressful through the process. I felt like it was stressful because I was doing it myself. I was at home trying to figure out, when am I going to eat my next meal? What am I going to eat for it? I didn't really feel like I had a support infrastructure around me. On the Hims and Hers platform, I'm able to access my care coaches and my licensed clinicians at the tap of a button. I can open my app, I can open my laptop and send a message whenever I want and get an answer back within hours. I don't have to wait for my doctor's appointment. I don't have to wait for someone to return my voicemail. I can just type it out in the comfort of my own home when I want and where I want. Those care coaches take a look at my medical history, my goals, my lifestyle, my eating habits, and they help personalize and individualize, tailored plan my own health needs. It's been incredibly helpful and supportive, and frankly, been encouraging for me to continue on the process, knowing that I have a whole team behind me that wants me to be successful.
Well, thank you both for the time today. Where can we go for some more information?
To learn more about the Hims and Hers approach to weight loss and this very special initiative that we have, you can go to hims.com/appreciation or for hers.com/appreciation.
Good morning, Vail.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
Woods presents Nashville Roadhouse Live, where country meets rock and roll.
It's where I drank my first beer, where I found Jesus, where I wrecked my first car, I tore it all to pieces. Join us every week for more live performances right here on Nashville Roadhouse Live.
Good morning, Vail.
Well, we certainly love our furry friends here in the Vail Valley. Liz headed over to Nottingham Park where she spoke with an Oracle dog trainer and some of his clients. Let's take a look.
Welcome to TV8 here at the beautiful Nottingham Park in Avon. What a gorgeous fall day. Are you enjoying this beautiful day right now?
Amazing. It's amazing. We're at like a second summer. It's a little hot, but I'd rather it be hot than cold. So.
Exactly. With the breeze, it's perfection. This is Steve with Oracle Canine. Now, Steve, I've seen a lot of your work on social media and things like that and the wonderful things you do with dogs. That's not one of his. What I wanted to talk to you about is how you got started in the training community here in our valley, as well as why you decided to work with dogs and all of the other wonderful things that you do, and your background a little bit as well.
All right, a lot to unpack there, but so I'll just start with my background. I was in the Marine Corps, and I was an infantry Marine, so on deployments we had these awesome dogs attached to us on patrols that could alert to explosives, and they would like squirt out of buildings and get bad guys and bite them, and they could track, and I was like, wow, that is really cool. So I started kind of hanging around with the kennel people and like the dog handlers, and then when I got out of the military, I started training with a Schutzen club, and Schutzen's a German sport for dogs. It's protection, tracking, and obedience, and then they do it up from on leash to off leash at a very high level. Anyways, I've always kind of done dogs. I've been really good with dogs. I was doing them here kind of as a side thing and just helping people, and then I lost my job that I had full time, and my wife was like, why don't you just do dogs full time? And so that's what I've been doing for a few years now here, as far as that's what I do 100% to feed my family. So I started with private lessons here in the Valley, and then I've kind of graduated into doing privates, group lessons, which we're about to do here in a little while, and a board and train program. So the group lessons are a little bit easier way financially for people to kind of get into training and kind of test the waters with a trainer. Not everybody can shell out the money it costs for private lessons. So I do these group lessons at like $20 for somebody. We get to come out here for an hour, and you know they'll take away a lot, and that's just kind of, I can't offer free training, right? This is an expensive place to live. If I could, I would. So I've been doing these cheap group lessons, and that's just, yeah, I'll leave it with that.
Well, I would never say the word cheap, because first of all, if you can afford $20, you get so much in return. And you know what? You do have to feed your family, and it's a very altruistic thing that you're doing for people here that might not be able to do a private lesson like you were talking about. I've learned a lot about dogs. I love dogs so much. Been out here for 15 years, and I've been adventuring them for about 8 years during the day, and I learned about their personalities. The one thing I've really, really learned is that when you train a dog, you have to train their person as well.
Absolutely. 99% of it's training the person and showing them good management techniques and how to communicate with their dog. And you know, dogs don't speak a language. They're master body language readers of us, and they follow our cues and stuff like that. And for us to go in and have a good communication system, and the dog to know its boundaries and what it's allowed to do and what it's not allowed to do is huge. Being a leader to your dog is the most important thing. We shouldn't baby our dogs, right? I see people all the time, they show love to dogs by overfeeding them, by giving them whatever they want, by letting them jump and walk all over them. That is the opposite of what a dog actually wants and needs to thrive, right? So that solid leader, boundaries, hey, you can do this, but you can't do that. Everything's kind of down to a cue. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can't. And that's truly what dogs need. They're pack animals. They need somebody to look up to and follow.
That makes perfect sense, and I 100% agree with you. Not like I have any weight in this subject, but we got very lucky. I was walking up here with my cameraman, Nicholas, and you just happened to be wrapping up a session with this lovely lady over here. I want to come, Patty, right? Yeah. I got your name beforehand. Patty, say hi to everybody because you have been one of Stephen's clients over at Oracle Canine.
I have been for some time now, since I got Kugel. And
Noodle Kugel
in April, and I realized I needed training, and so did she, the both of us, and it's been very, very successful.
Well, it's very wise of you to say that you needed the training as well. We just talked about that, but it really is true because dogs feel all of our energy and they are very aware of what we're going through and they want to please us. But if we treat them like they can walk all over us, well, then they're going to take all four paws and do the same. Kugel, what has your experience been like with Steve over at Oracle Training?
Wonderful.
Yeah, he said it was wonderful. So tell me about the improvement that Kugel has experienced.
There's many things. First of all, she was a really nervous dog when I got her. I adopted her from the Rhodesian Ridgeback group out of Denver, the rescue group. And she was really nervous, especially around men that had some kind of authority. Mm-hmm. She would bark at Steve in the beginning. If he turned his back, she became very aggressive. And take a look right now, these two are doing great.
Oh, look at the two of them together.
I know, and I don't really have this problem with her anymore. She's learned to trust, and she's learned to obey, and I'm learning the signals to give her to do all of that. I was at the point where I was hiking up Arrowhead, and I lost the leash. I don't have strong hands. She took off for almost 30 minutes.
Oh, no.
And it was really scary. She came back without her collar, without a leash. She got out. And that's when I realized, oh boy, I need some help here. Yeah. I can't do this on my own. And I love her I loved her right away. So
they're family.
They are family. Yeah. She's been my little rescue, little helper, and brought a lot of joy into my life.
Yes, when we rescue them, they rescue us at the same time, right?
Exactly. And there's something really special. I've never have had a rescue before, but they do come with some issues, and they're bigger than me. I needed Steve's help to make this happen.
And like you said, they come with issues, but that's where people like Steve from Oracle come into play. Right. We all have to realize that getting a dog, whether it's for our own companionship or for the kids or for a gift or a holiday or anything like that, it comes with such a responsibility. It is not just there for the cutesy stuff and the companion and all the snuggles, and we want to feed them right. We want to treat them like they're a member of our family, but they also have to be ready to please us. And if we do that in the proper way, where you come in, then it works out great. Do you have any words to say? We're going to take some film of you doing your training and exercise program with the dogs, but what would you like to tell people that if they would like to maybe be part of the $20 a day experience or maybe get some private lessons? As you can see, we took little Kugel over here that makes me think of my mom. By the way, happy Rosh Hashanah, everybody.
I would absolutely tell everybody to do your homework. Definitely vet people who are going to take care of your animals with you and do training with you. Make sure that they are who they say they are. And I like to check people's dogs out myself. And but aside from that, you can find me at oraclecaninetraining.com. That's the letter K and the number 9. You could also find that on Facebook. I post very actively in the community classifieds groups, and I've got my business on Google and all of that. So, and I would like to give a shout out to Avon PD and Eagle County Animal Control. When those 5 dogs got dumped by the Maverick gas station, I was the one that was me who went up there and helped them kind of corral them. Yeah, I was the local canine professional that they put in the paper or whatever. But
Hey, I've been called worse.
oh yeah, I have too. So, but yeah, no, I'm a dog man through and through. Don't let the canine or the marine part of it scare you. I ask her, I'm a softie with these dogs, but I do, I do expect the dogs to listen, and when they learn to listen and they learn to be obedient, they get freedom. Like she takes this dog off leash. She hikes it, but she's got an electric collar on it so she can communicate. God forbid a deer pops out, the dog takes off and is running towards traffic, right? That's where these type of tools are absolutely useful and needed, right? Some people don't agree with that, but she's seen it herself. If this animal particularly takes off after a deer, holding a handful of treats out is not going to stop her. So we've done training and we're conditioning her to the electric collar. She stops, comes right back, and now she has all of this freedom because she can responsibly be off leash in public, and that is huge. So
That's I bet it's been enormous. And dogs are dogs, so they're still going to do their dog things. But when they respect you, and so people do understand the e-collar, it's not always zapping your dog. Okay, so really learn more about it. And I hope we can learn more about your marine background. He might be a softie with the dogs, but I walked up, he's like, on your belly. So this is Steve from Oracle Canine with a great amount of experience to get everybody and their dogs part of the family and everybody getting along perfectly and safely.
Good morning, Vail.
It's time for the best coverage of the top stories in sports. The Sports Wrap with Jason Page starts now.
How do you make Anthony Edwards the face of your franchise if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves? We'll get into that.
And we say hello to our good friend Matt Verderam, who hangs out with us from SI.com. Their NFL insider, one of them, is hanging out with us on the program today. Did you see Caitlin Clark last night? She put up a 40-burger, hits the game-winning three as time expires. Let's turn our attention to the Denver Broncos, one of the NFL's most dysfunctional situations.
The Sports Wrap with Jason Page. From small towns to big cities and everywhere in between, we're covering the great things that are happening right now in the USA. This is Positively America with Ernie Anastas.
Each week, we're going to focus on the great things that are happening every day in the USA. We'll feature change makers.
In every older person, there's a younger person saying, how did this happen?
Innovators.
I talk about design the way some people might talk about like the person they're in love with.
Doers and dreamers.
You can use that recognition to pay it forward.
Ordinary Americans accomplishing extraordinary things.
When you smile, you receive one back most of the time.
We're going to prove to you that optimism and hope are paving the way to an even brighter tomorrow.
We've got a lot of programs that are specifically focused on the children of our fallen heroes.
At Positively America, our mission is to feature good news.
For the latest and greatest trends in pop entertainment, Popstar Today brings you compelling celebrity lifestyle stories that matter most to you. From movies, music, TV, and streaming shows, to fashion, social media influencers, and the latest on who is seeing who. Join host Elizabeth Stanton as she digs deep and dives in. This is Popstar Today.
Now, welcome back to our show. Now, we all love the GoPro mountain games that happen here every summer, but we now have an inaugural mountain athlete team. Kevin had a conversation with one of the athletes, so let's take a look.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Since its inception in 2002, the Vail Valley Foundation's GoPro Mountain Games have brought some of the top athletes to the Vail Valley to compete in sports such as kayaking, biking, slacklining, and of course, trail running. I'm lucky enough today to be joined by Laura Hamilton, that is an avid trail runner. Has quite a few other things in her background too, such as Nordic skiing. But this year, in 2025, there is a team concept taking place, and Laura was selected to be one of the 9 on that team. Good morning, Laura.
Morning. Hi.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I've already been out for a run, looking at all the leaves and stuff, so I'm stoked. Yeah.
I bet it is absolutely beautiful there in Crested Butte where you're training.
Yep.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your training regimen. What's that consist of?
At the moment, I am in and out of racing blocks. So generally, we try and do 2 speed sessions a week. One's like mountain based, and one's flat and fast, so on a track, and a couple long runs a week, some lifting. I like to cross train as well. So whether that's mountain biking or in the winter, ski mountaineering, Nordic skiing. But yeah, I'm running probably upwards of 100 kilometers a week, and got all my sights now set on World Mountain Running Finals in, I think it's Italy. And then the next week, Golden Trail World Series Finals in Switzerland.
Well, let's get to this 9-person team, because the Vail Valley Foundation GoPro Mountain Games has selected 9 individuals to make up this sponsored team. What's that mean for you to be selected on that?
Yeah, I think, being a part of a team is really important to me, especially being someone from a different country. It's nice to see other people going after really big goals and making an impact on the community, and not just in running, because this team's made up of so many individuals who have all these different skills and talents, and they're inspiring me to really get after it. And also that extra bit of support with these really big goals I have means the world to me, and to have people truly believe in me is extremely important. Like, I can't do this alone. So
well,
yeah.
now the different members on the team, some of them are bikers, some of them are kayakers. Do you network with them at all on any training ideas as a team member?
Yeah, so the team was put together fairly recently, and we have our first meeting coming up, and then in the lead up to the GoPro Mountain Games in June, I suspect there'll be a lot more opportunities to do that. But right now we're all just getting to know each other, kind of what we do, how we train, what our goals are in life and in sport. So I am looking forward to the opportunities to do that in the future.
Now, the selection process itself kind of took part. It had an application process. It had some interviews. Tell me about what you went through.
Yeah, so after the GoPro games and competing at that, I had such a good time. I loved that there was art combined with sport, and all of, it was such a multidisciplinary event. And I was just on the website looking around, and then I saw athlete ambassador team, and I thought, every time I come across something where you can apply for support, I tend to do that. And I applied, and I put my best foot forward with that, and got selected for an interview, and then made it through to the final round and got selected. And I think the key part that really hit home was, I always say, I want to be in places and on teams with people who truly believe in what I do and what I'm about. Otherwise, it's not a good fit. And with my music side and my sports side and the diversity in that, it felt like a really good match to be a part of this team.
And I also know you've got a Nordic ski background with skimo and backcountry. Did that happen first, or was it the trail running that got you into the Nordic skiing?
Well, it was the Nordic skiing that got me into running. It was something that I did in Australia. We do have snow there. It's a common misconception. And I would run in the summer to cross train. And I just found a love for running. And then after coming to the US for college, I delved into trail running and then kept the skiing up because obviously there's so much snow in Colorado. It's kind of hard to run full time year round. So all the winter sports come back and I have a deep love for them too.
Nice. Now, how many years have you competed in the GoPro Mountain Games?
Actually, last year was my first. I've only really been trail running properly for like 2, 3 years, and this was the first time that I made the trip out there and have been to Vail in the summer. And I'm part of the trail team, and Andy incentivized us all to go, and I love the race. I love fast ones, so it was a 10K that I did, and the course was awesome, and it was super quick and attracted a really good field. So yeah, first time this year, next year, second time.
Wonderful. So I know you've only competed a couple years and been part of the GoPro Mountain Games, but when you're not running, what is one of your favorite events to watch?
Outside of running, favorite like sporting events to watch?
Yes.
You know what? I really love watching soccer, or it's called football in some places. Team sports, you know, it's so different to what we do. Whilst it's a team, it is such an individual pursuit, ski mountaineering, distance running. So anything where I can kind of shout at the TV in a positive way and like get behind a team. Like I love watching the basketball as well. So
a lot of team atmosphere, team environments, you really like that.
yeah, because especially Australians, we love getting behind any teams and we get really into it. We have this match called the State of Origin.
Very passionate, very passionate.
It's big energy.
Now, when you're not running, when you're not Nordic skiing, I know that you also like to maybe sing and DJ, some digital marketing stuff. What else do we need to know about Laura Hamilton?
Well, I still have to bring the money in, so I do work almost full time. Luckily, it's remote because that allows me to travel a lot for all these events. So that's the marketing component of things, and I help with event printing and design. So it's kind of in the sport alley as well, and I grow the business in that way. And then I have DJ gigs here and there. I just did probably the best all-time gig. I DJ'd the Mammoth Trail Fest / Golden Trail National Series final after party, and some of the best runners in the world were there, dancing like I've never seen before. And what a privilege for me to stand on stage and play music for them. And I have a few more gigs coming up, but I just love it. It's like I'm not a good runner without the other parts of me, and that includes music, and that includes songwriting. And I, you know, hope to get some of my work out on Spotify within the next year.
Nice. And now I also know that you're highly into nutrition. You've got a nutrition book. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it's not so much a nutrition book. I'm writing a book to help people basically become better, be more self-aware, the mental component of sport and the mental component of life. I've overcome quite a few challenges in life and still do have to, I guess, fight is the wrong word, but persevere and be resilient every day. I was born with ankylosing spondylitis. It's an inflammatory arthritic condition. And I have biological injections, which essentially stop my spine from fusing, and then I wouldn't be able to compete at all. And so in saying that, I know there's so many people out there struggling from a mental health perspective. And if, you know, I can't help people, you know, can't always be there for people in person, but if I can just make a difference in someone's life, then I feel like I've played a role, and that's my purpose to be here. So this book is going to help contribute particularly to mountain towns and the mental health struggle that is prevalent there.
Well, Laura, you are a true inspiration. We are so excited to see how you do here at the GoPro Mountain Games, sponsored by the Vail Valley Foundation. Keep training, keep your passions moving forward, and we will see you coming up in June 2025 for the Vail Valley Foundation GoPro Mountain Games, and watch you out on the trail.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for joining us. Well, there is that extreme sports coming our way here in the Vail Valley. That is the Vail Valley Foundation's GoPro Mountain Games coming here. All these athletes are training right now to show you how serious this event actually is. So plan your stay here in the Vail Valley for those games. They are truly exceptional. The music, the art, the food, and of course those sporting events coming our way. We'll be back soon with more Good Morning Vail.
Good morning, Vail.
This show looks at anything that has an engine and a story told by the owners. This is a scooter. Have you had it the whole time?
I have not. It's actually the third time I've owned the car.
Sell, regret, sell, regret. To the actual prototype GT40, I got to sit in that car.
Oh, I gotta get me one of these, man.
We've got all the muscle, the speed, and the stories.
I got stage 4 cancer. A bunch of friends came together and decided that this thing needed to get done then. A lot of friends came together and made this thing happen.
Hey, if it has an engine and a story, you're going to hear about it on rides. Almost every vehicle, doesn't matter what walk of life you're from, there's some tie to your past.
I'm Jason Kennedy, and this is The Wager. Let's go, Wes! We've all heard about this pickleball craze. Celebrities are playing pickleball matches all the time, and they're challenging each other to these ridiculous bets. Now I'm bringing the cameras to their house with new celebrities and a new bet every week.
Hell of a rally there.
It's just real, genuine conversation.
I got invited to Usher's birthday party. What am I doing here?
And some pretty crazy antics.
Coming at you from around the world. The biggest names in sports, entertainment, and business.
Here we go.
Yeah, there's no way.
Exclusive access and one-on-one conversations.
Yeah, you guys really did some deep research.
I don't think we should give him any more information.
In depth with Graham Bensinger.
Experience the beauty of fall on the rails of the Leadville Railroad. Take in the cool mountain breeze as you climb to 11,000 feet to watch the vibrant reds, oranges, and golds of fall come alive. Enjoy delicious hot beverages, learn some history, and relax with family and friends. Create fall memories in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. Offering daily trips, the weekend specials sell out fast. To secure your seat, book today at leadvillerailroad.com.
Good morning, Vail.
Now, here on Good Morning Vail, we cover a myriad of topics, including local activities, sports, and cooking in the kitchen. I show you an easy way to make a peach crumble with just 3 ingredients. Let's take a look. Now we are in the kitchen, and we're always cooking up simple, easy desserts or food to make that you don't have to have many ingredients and can have almost all of the ingredients at home. I'm going to show you a very easy version of a peach crumble. Growing up in the South, I loved to have peach pie or apple pie, but don't necessarily have the time to cut all of the fruit and make all of the dough. So we're just going to go ahead and show you an easy hack to do that. All you need are 3 ingredients. We've got canned peaches. I like to do the organic as best as possible. You've got your classic yellow cake plus Land O'Lakes butter. Now, if you wanted to, you can always add some additional ingredients, and I'll explain kind of how that goes. So we've got our mixing bowl, and then we've got our pie tin. You want like an 8x8 or a 9x9. I'm going to set that to the side, and I'm going to pull my mixing bowl here in front of me. What I'm going to do now is basically take my classic yellow cake. We're going to take it all out, and we're just going to pour it into the bowl here. So you don't need to follow any of the additional ingredients on the cake box. You just need the cake mix itself. We're gonna pour it into our bowl here. You wanna be careful because it could go everywhere. We've got that here, okay? We'll throw this out and make sure that we're not making too much of a mess. Throw that out there. And then I'm gonna grab a knife, and we've got our butter. So you can do about, it really depends. You know, I would say now I'd probably do about 1.5 sticks of butter. So we're gonna take the butter out. Again, not the healthiest, but definitely quite delicious. So we've got our 2 sticks of butter here. Now I let it sit at room temperature for a bit, and we're gonna take the butter and you're gonna unfold it, and then we're just gonna cut it and cube it into, and then mix it into our crumble, our cake crumble here. So I've taken that out. We're gonna put this one to the side. We're just gonna keep cutting it just like this. Again, you can use a butter knife, which is what I'm using. You can use a sharper knife if you want to. Also a fun butter hack, if your knife has been run under hot water, it'll just slice through it nice and easy. So we're just gonna keep on slicing it all the way down. Now you don't wanna touch it too much because it will get all over your hands. But we're just gonna keep cutting it just like that. As you can see. Again, not the best, but I've got it cut. And then what I'm gonna do is cut it into quarters. So you can stack it just like that. Doesn't have to be perfect, but we just wanna make it so it's a little bit easier to crumble into our cake batter here. So we're just gonna crumble it in. Again, it's been sitting out at room temperature, so it's getting all mixed into my fingers here, just like that. And just kind of crumble it into the cake here. And this is not gonna be a clean recipe here because I'm about to stick my fingers into the butter batter here. And so we can just really crumble it all up. So you probably only need about 1 stick of butter. I have the other stick just in case we want to add more, but I'm gonna mix this together and see how I feel about it. But basically what this does is the butter helps the cake batter, which is filled with like the flour and the sugar and the additional flavorings, to kind of really meld together and get nice and crisp on top of our pastry as we cook it in the oven. Now my oven has been preheating. It's preheated at 350 degrees. So we're just gonna go ahead and mix this together. As you can see, it's looking good. We're crumbling it all up, just like that. We're gonna keep on crumbling it up. So I am probably gonna add a little bit more butter into it. And you just wanna squeeze your fingers all together because that's what it's gonna really meld and make a nice like crumble to put on top of our peaches. Yeah, just like that. Now, a little bit messy here. So I'm gonna rinse my hands and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut a little bit more butter up. Getting it nice and rinsed. I can smell the vanilla, the yellow cake powder. You know, it's a nice classic. I'm gonna take this towel there we go. Still got butter and powder all over my hands, but that is A-okay. We're gonna cut it in half. I'm probably only gonna do about half of the butter stick now. Just like that. We've got it cut. But before I do that, I wanna make sure that I'm greasing the bottom of my pan. So I just took my butter, I'm just gonna take the stick and grease it all around the edges and in the middle here. All right, looks great to me. We're gonna move that out of the way. And here we go, we're just gonna cut it up nice and fast, just like that. Now you can have it at cold temperature too, but the room temperature just makes it a little bit easier to deal with, especially when you're trying to crumble it all up inside of your pastry batter mixture here. So just throw it in, just like that. Great. I'll mix it up a little bit further, but before I do that and my hands get super messy, I'm gonna go ahead and put our peaches into our baking dish here. So the peaches will come in its own like juices. You wanna drain a little bit of it out, so we're gonna drain it out before we pour it in officially. You wanna keep some, but not too much. So I'm gonna open it there, as you can see. And then we're just gonna go over here to the sink. We'll drain out just a little bit. All right, looks great. I'll put a little bit more out. There we go. And then we're gonna just pour it into the bottom of our dish here. Now you could probably do 2 cans if you wanted to. This is just gonna be a nice and small serving here. And we're gonna mix this all together, just like that. And again, this is a crumble, so it doesn't have to look perfect. We're just gonna crumble it all together. All right, as you can see, it looks nice and crumbly, right? So we're gonna just take this mixture, and I'm gonna take the crumbles and I'm gonna pour it on top of our peaches. I'll just kind of mix it together, and then we're going to pop it into the oven, and it's just going to bake, and it'll be that simple, just like that. Okay, looks good, all mixed together. And it's okay if it spreads apart, it's okay. You know, you could do 2 cans of peaches to fill this, but we're just going for a small individual serving. So I'm gonna pop it into the oven, thanks to my messy hands. And we're just gonna let it bake for about 15 to 20 minutes, or until our crumble has melted together and everything looks good. Nice, simple, fast, 3-ingredient dessert for your friends and family.
Good morning, Vail.
Take the first game every one of us played in the schoolyard. Turn up the degree of difficulty to maximum, and then let loose some of the fastest and most agile athletes in the world to go one-on-one in what you have is the most extreme pursuit contest you've ever known. It's intense, it's addictive, and there's only one rule. Don't get caught.
If you haven't seen World Chase Tag before, here's how it works.
2 teams of up to 6 athletes compete in a series of one-on-one chases. Each chase lasts up to 20 seconds and has 1 chaser and 1 evader.
Opportunities for points on the board! Oh!
Whoever wins the duel stays on as the evader, and teams get 1 point for each evasion they make.
And it looks like the opening point of this competition!
It's the best of 16 chases to win the match, with a sudden death chase-off required to break any ties. It's win or go home from now on. Don't miss it.
Hi there. Are you ready to explore famous neighborhoods from New York City to Kentucky? Watch The Neighborhood with host Nicole Newman. Featuring famous people, unique history, and delicious places to eat and drink. Our viewers get an inside personal look at each neighborhood. With each episode we learn, grow, laugh, and live like a local, not just a visitor. Welcome to The Neighborhood. Check your local program schedule and tune in.
For fun and adventure, join me on Elizabeth Stanton's Great Big World. Find out where I'll be going next and which celebrities I'll be bringing along with me. I'll show you amazing destinations with lots to explore, and you'll get to know my celebrity guests the way they really are, up close and personal. We'll travel the world, experience new cultures, and together, try to make a difference. I'm Elizabeth Stanton, saying the world's a big place, and I'm going to show it to you.
Coming up this season on Ready, Set, Renovate, we see one couple fall in love with a waterfront fixer-upper.
Just, it sort of wrapped its arms around us and said, you want me, and we did.
And watch as another battles over the budget.
We're trying to look through and see where we can trim at this point.
Are you looking to trim it, Ginger?
No.
No. Construction pros show us the right way to renovate.
Well, we had to do a roof over. We had to hand build a lot of the trusses.
As we're putting the thin set down, the self-leveler has a little clip that clips up underneath the edge of the tile.
Good morning, Vail.
Now we have many staples here in our valley, and one of those is the Eagle Valley Library District. I've got Tegan on the couch with me this morning. How are you, Tegan?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday to you as well.
Great, great. We were just talking about how gorgeous the weather is outside,
yes.
and it's just a really incredible place to be in the fall. And
yeah,
so,
one of my favorites.
It's true, and we're so rich with history here as well.
We are.
So what is going on with the Eagle Valley Library District right now?
So we are going to be celebrating our local history award, which we will be doing on Sunday at 1:30, which is October 6th at the Eagle Public Library. So we've done this award for over 20 years.
Wow.
And what we do is we award local or individuals that help grow our knowledge of local history. So we do have at the Eagle Valley Library District a local history department, which is kind of unique to a small public library.
Absolutely.
And we have our digital archive, which anyone can visit at any time. And so we have people that, in order to grow that and to have this information, we need help along the way.
Yeah.
And so we honor people who are helping us preserve our local history.
Okay, that's great. You know, I think just living in the valley, you start to learn and know more about the history, but the visitors that come into town, they're not aware, and there is a lot of history to make such an incredible valley and to establish the valley that we have here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even if you're not from Eagle County is a good representation of how Colorado in the West in the 1800s were developing. You know, we had the ranching, we had the mining, we had the logging, and then we had the ski industry. And so in order to capture and preserve all that, and then to be able to share our stories, because when visitors do come, we do have some of our photos that are in the digital archive. Some entities have asked to display them, and so they'll see Eagle County back in the 1800s, and so being able to share these stories is super special.
It's true, and you can see little remnants of our history physically in our valley, but then you can read up more on it. So we're talking about the awards, and it's local contributors. So is there anybody in particular that you like to highlight?
This year we're highlighting Jim Blush, and he moved here when he was a child because his dad worked for the Denver Rio Grande.
Okay.
And so he grew up here, and then he has been helping us with our railroad history and being able to contribute his knowledge so that we have a better archive. And part of the presentation, we always bring up a presenter as well as the awardee.
Okay.
And so this year we have Lauren Glibler, and she's also into railroads. And so we're really focusing on the impact of railroads in Eagle County and how that changed our landscape. And because the railroads were big, they still are. We still talk about them. So bringing that knowledge and expanding upon what we know.
Well, it was definitely the main form of transportation
Yes.
when we were first becoming established as a valley.
Yep.
And so,
and then also industry and getting things out of the valley. So yeah, the Rio Denver Grande, and there's some other lines that were equally important.
That's very exciting. So this is the 20th year?
Oh no, we've been doing it for more than 20.
So tell me about the awards itself.
So we partner with the Historical Society of Eagle County. I want to get their name right. We partner with them to present this award.
Okay.
So we are always looking for people who are contributing to our local history because they know people, we know people, and we work together to grow our digital archives, as well as we do have an archival room.
Okay.
And we're trying to digitize as much as we can, as fast as we can, because we want to share this with the world. And so that's what's important about a digital archive is, yes, you can see the photo or you can see the object, but you have to come to Eagle County to physically see that. But if you want to see that at your home and learn more, that's why the digital archive is really important.
That's very important,
Yep.
especially as everything is moving towards the digital era.
Right, and it's a way for us to show Eagle County to the world. So it's special and unique and super fun. And this partnership is wonderful because we're able to work together, and then we can honor people who also spend a lot of their time contributing. This is volunteer time. It's just a passion of history, and they're willing to share their knowledge or their collection or their family's journal from someone from the Borough Journals is what I'm referring to, 1800s, just the daily life of what was going on. We wouldn't know that if people weren't willing to share that with us.
It's incredible, and the fact that these awards have been going on for so many years, it's impressive that we have people willing to contribute every year, and there's more information to be brought to the surface.
And you learn so much about where you are and the space that we are as Eagle County and how unique and special we are.
It's true. It's not just the gorgeous mountains.
Right.
There's a lot that contributed to making this a very livable space.
Exactly. And and also like they did what we did.
That's true.
So I always like if you're not a history buff and you just want to check out the local history archives, and you're not really sure like what to look at. I mean, pick the towns, but you can also like do dog. We've got lots of pictures of dogs, or my favorite is donkey, because there's some really hilarious burro pictures. And so it's just remembering that people are people, even in they did silly things just like we do silly things.
We're so serious
Yep.
back in
And so it's a way to like attach yourself to history as well.
I love that. Attach yourself to history.
Yeah.
And we definitely need to hold on to that,
We do.
especially as things continue to move throughout time. It's
Oh,
important to
yeah.
know where you came from and how we got here.
And share those stories. So then when you're out hiking or you're going to these towns, you can really kind of embed yourself in what it used to be and then what it is now.
Absolutely.
So it's fun to see the changes.
So tell us again the
Yep.
details of the awards.
Yep. Okay. So Sunday, August 6th at the Eagle Public Library, starting at 1:30,
Okay.
we'll have a presenter, Karen Glibler, and she's going to be talking about the railroads. She'll do a whole presentation about the impact of railroads on Colorado. And then we'll present our awardee, Jimmy Blush, with the Local History Award. And so there's an honorarium. We take photos, all that fun jazz. We have treats. It's just a nice time to come visit the library and learn something.
Well, congratulations to Jimmy and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
loving his contribution to the
Oh,
Valley.
it's been so
huge.
impressive.
Yeah.
And again, that knowledge, if you don't share it, we'll lose it. So it's very important that people share.
It is. It really is. Well, Tegan, always a pleasure having
Thank
you
you,
here
thank
on
you.
the couch. Exciting things happening. You're doing all kinds of things outside of just being a library.
Yeah.
You're a wealth of knowledge for us, so we appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Well, we've got lots of exciting things
Yes, we do.
happening, and we'll be back with some weather right now. And look at that weather. We've got incredible weather today, a high of 75 degrees. As we were talking earlier, you know, it's in that middle temperatures where you're wearing tights in the morning and a dress later in the day. It's 42 degrees this morning. We've got some sunshine, winds coming from the west by southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Lots of exciting things happening. If you are getting out and about and planning outdoor activities, this is the weekend to do it. We've got a high of 42 degrees this morning at 8 a.m. At noon, it's 68 degrees and sunny. And then it'll get warm right about 73 degrees at 4 o'clock. And then the clouds will start rolling in as we move into the evening, later evening at 8 p.m., 61 degrees. Looking at that I-70 corridor, we've got bookends in Eagle and Denver with 82 in Eagle, 85 in Denver. Vail is looking at 75 degrees. Avon, we are still seeing summer temps here, 78 degrees for the high, which is pretty incredible. Tonight, a low of 45 degrees, partially cloudy with the sunset at 6:44 p.m. And then the winds will be coming from the south only at 5 to 10 miles per hour. The 5-day forecast, this is what we want to know. Are we still going to be outside and having a blast? Of course we are. Saturday and Sunday, just about the mirroring images of each other. 71 and 72 for the high, 42 for the low, and 40 for the low on Sunday. Mostly sunny on Monday, 69 all across the board with the clouds rolling in as we make our way through the rest of the week. Lots of exciting things happening. Thanks for joining. I'm Kimberly Perot, and we will see you next time.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer